Okay. That's pretty much. Hey, just letting everybody know, we got the video and the audio turned on for the meeting. So anything said past this point, will be recorded. So.
Your microphone.
Huh?
Your microphone.
Better? Okay.
I can use it. Pick it up.
Okay, BOD. Yeah. Okay, at this moment, I'd like to begin the July 15th, 2023 Board of Directors meeting to order at this time. I would like to begin with roll call, beginning on my left. William Osenbaugh, present. Randy Powell, present.
Susan Hunt, present. Lucinda Albright, present.
All members are present. We have a quorum. Give me a moment, please. I'm going to move the camera around. Okay, camera's now facing us, so. Okay, we have roll call. First item, I'd like to have Susan read the Board of Director minutes from June and approve.
All right. Okay, on June 24th, 2023, all board members were present. I'll get the wrong thing in front of me. I'm sorry, I thought I had the wrong thing in front of me. First thing discussed was architectural by Randy Powell. He advised to please read and know your restrictions, ongoing and unapproved structures are still being placed on sites. Be a member in good standing. If your dues aren't paid, your architectural form will not be approved. Forms have to be submitted by Folio. There may be possible fines if restrictions are not followed. We prefer to work with members to remedy, but not give a fine if we can work together. Boat ramp. Discuss the boat ramp. It is not LTHOA property. It's owned by the Army Corps of Engineers. We need to contact the Corps or county with any issues. We have no jurisdiction over that area. Harbor Patrol by Randy Powell. Please report suspicious activity. Encourage use of your surveillance cameras. And we ask that you not share where the locations of your cameras are if you have them out there. Speeding requirements for golf carts. Speeding carts in general, speeding limits in general, 25 miles per hour on the main road, 15 miles per hour on the side roads, no children drivers, 16 and over and must be licensed. Loose dog, we had a incident where a loose dog injured her pretty substantially. Please keep your dogs leashed or pinned up. The trash roll off on holiday weekends, household items only. Vice President, myself, I read the income statement on that date. The general fund was 138,662.21. The road fund was 42,914.23. 2022 dues were 2809 that had been paid. 2023 dues paid to date was 59,874.76. Dues prior to 2022 that had been paid to date, $13,330.61. Total income as of June 24th was $80,684.07. Total expenses were $31,620.29. All board members voted and approved the income statement. The current delinquency report was posted on July 1. We had a discussion regarding filing liens on ongoing delinquent accounts. At that date, 69% of that folio had been activated. 26% of those on file we have no email for. Renewal of our directors and officers insurance policy, $1,403. We ask that you please advise when you sell your property or if you buy new property so that we can get good information in our system. We had no bids on properties that were opened up. Pool and Park report by Lucinda. We gave an update on the health department. Sort of on, inspection. We had several repairs and requirements due to that inspection. We still need volunteers. We have an ongoing shortage of pool volunteers. Bathroom update, the floor needs to be redone. Randy is overseeing and working with a volunteer to repair that. There's a little anomaly we gotta take care of. Roads and Utilities by William Austinbaugh, road repair update, plan to check Flint Rock Road to see if the county will assist in that. Next work to be done, major work will be on Elkhorn. Road plan discussion, reminder, members need to clean their ditches and tin horns out. Or install a tin horn in the driveway before we can repair your road. New business, we decided that today's date would be our next POA meeting and BOD meeting, 7 p.m. for the POA. Voting today from 8 to 5. We went over the rules for voting. Talked about the vacated positions. We needed 3 committee members for the voting table. We decided to cease Zoom meetings since members can watch on YouTube with just a small delay. There was a first and second motion to end the meeting, and that was approved. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of Green? We have 4 votes saying yes, unanimous vote, passed or accepted. Okay, okay, kind of off that. Does it look like we're gonna have enough for a later vote? You think? I don't know, I'm saying, if we read this, we don't have a quorum, but you can still read it, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that we're not gonna have sufficient people. Well, well, no, I'm saying the results and things, so,
still need to tell people, but.
okay. Well, okay, I'd like to bring the attention that we just had a vote today. And bylaws say that the board meeting begins immediately after receiving the votes. The votes are here in this envelope just given to us. We have not opened it. We have not looked at it, so do we wish to open this time and announce the votes?
Why not?
Good, William?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, this is unopened. If anybody wants to come up here and look at it also, they're welcome to come up here and look at the results also. So feel free. Nothing else left in there? Okay, got 3 pieces of paper. 2 of them containing the check marks they use to count the votes. 1 with the results on it. Okay. First question. Second. Okay, first question on the ballot was to add Lucinda here and for a 2-year tour on the board.
Sure.
Well, tour, it could be called, depends who you are, could be a sentence, you know, your choice. Okay, we wanted to ensure that by default, she would be on the board because she was the only one nominated. We did not have a second nominee for the second position, but by default, she is on the board because she was nominated. But I still wanted to have a vote. I wanted to make sure that this membership acknowledges that she was voted in by the members, so we did a count anyway. All right. Votes for Lucinda to be on the board were 323 votes. And we had 45 no votes. So with 323 votes, Lucinda is officially a board member for the next 2 years. Welcome, Lucinda.
think yes, so 323 total, or 323.
323 said yes,
So that's it, all right.
and 45 said no, so he is on the board. Second question. Okay, second question involved the 50% increase, and with a one-time increase that would occur March of next year, and then followed by incremental increases based upon the inflation rate. Okay, and the answer to that, yes, yeses for the increase were 135 yeses. 135 yeses. And the no's were 246. So the motion, that ballot question was not passed. I just want to caution people that it's their vote, it's their choice. I just have to caution that later on when we have these conversations that they realize when things are broken and they don't get fixed, they voted on it. So I just want to add that little caveat. It's their choice. The people have spoken, and that's what they want. So would anybody like to review the count? Anybody? Okay. And what it is just be sure the ballots that were counted are going to be kept in that lock box. It's a lock padlock, steel box, and it's going to be kept there for a while. And just in case somebody wants to bring up, a vote later on and challenge the vote perhaps, or something like that. With the numbers looking like this, they're not close. And I doubt if anybody personally would want to recount, because it's not a close vote with either one, so. All right. Okay, now I will reread these during the public meeting in case anyone's not watching at this time, or we have people to show up.
Mary Ann gave them that there was 124 members that voted,
124
property owners that voted.
that voted yes.
No, 124 total members
Total members that voted,
voted.
Oh, 100. Oh, total?
the members themselves.
Oh, that's it?
That's not their, yes, that is not their,
Oh, but they could have anywhere between 1 and 4 votes.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so that's actually a pretty low count.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it count that low ever. Didn't really bring out the people. So. Okay. And we want to get this out of the way too. We did have a bid offer for one of the properties currently held by the POA. It was a property that was turned into a house. They didn't want it anymore. And we've been asking for a closed bid offer for several months. We finally got a first bid on the 2 properties located on Timber, I believe.
476 and 470.
Okay, so I'm gonna open that bid. It's the only bid, so that was given on that property. And that was a hard property sale because it does have utilities out front. It's got one of them septic pump stations and some telephone poles, and so it was a kind of a hard property to sell. Okay, single piece of paper with a written bid on the front. Remember, these bids that people made are considered written contracts, so. For the bid offer. All right, for lots bid offer, it reads. Lots B 476 and B 477, they are adjacent lots. The offer for both of these lots is $3,275. That's $3,275. And the bidder, I won't give his full name, but it's Connor. I won't give his full name. And we have his email address and his phone number. Okay, at the time, since he is the only bid offer for this property, we've been trying to get rid of it for a while. Do we have a motion to accept this bid for this property? We have a motion. We have a second. Second. All in favor of accepting his bid for $3,275. We have 4 yays, none opposed. Okay, congratulations, Connor. You bought yourself some lots. Would anybody like to see the bid? Right here. All right. They're trying to be open with the public, guys, so. All right, let's get back down to business now. First item we have is architectural control. We still got a problem with people that are building in the neighborhood who have not submitted architectural request forms as required. They are required before any construction begins, before any structures are brought onto the lots. This is something that's been repeatedly said since I've been here, and we still got people who said, I didn't know that. Well, it's in the bylaws, it's in the restrictions. It's been the law of the land in here since way before I came on. So if you do have something on your property and it's not approved, you could get fined for a violation. So it's up to you. Okay. Okay, I've been contacting some of the owners in the neighborhood concerning some of their dogs that are running loose. Some of these people have been contacted. Okay, some trash in the yards, some have been contacted. Some are hard to find, so you come up with presidents and they never seem to be around when I'm looking for them. So, but yeah, we do have a problem with people with trashy yards, tall grass. We got over 2,000 lots in this neighborhood, so they're hard to catch up to everybody. So we're doing our best on that one. And I think we're all in agreement at this point where people who simply don't want to listen, don't want to follow the rules, they're not going to clean up the lots. And we may have to start being a little more stern by issuing fines. I don't want to issue fines. I'd rather have them clean up the property first time and that's it. But some people says, what are you going to do? So, well, we can issue a fine monthly. They don't clean it up and the fines will build up. Eventually we'll put a lien on the property. So I don't want to do that. So please clean your yards. Take care of your dogs, whatever things you got to take care of them. Anybody have any comments about that at all? Do anybody pretty much agreement that if they're asked to clean it, they don't clean, that we need to follow up?
Yeah.
Because if we don't follow up, it's a clear message that they can do whatever they want. All right, thank you. Harbor Patrol, we've been having a lot of suspicious people driving around doing strange things. Yeah, you see something, report it. We write down the description of the vehicle, description of the person, what they're doing, license plates, picture if you got it off your front door camera or something. I think it's making some difference. So we had some incidents recently, Airbnb, kids staying there were shooting a BB gun into a adjacent properties residence. So we've had chase people down in the neighborhood. DEA, I believe, has been running around in the neighborhood. I think I saw the FBI here once. State police have been running through here.
Highway Patrol was here last week.
Who?
The Highway Patrol was here
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, but we got some people that I think are hiding out in our neighborhood because they could easily to get into a residence here that doesn't have a number on the front, no mailbox, and keep a low key. I think we got a lot of people hiding out in our neighborhood. So I know recently we had a few days ago, we had a family trying to move into a vacant trailer. She showed up 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, moving in. Well, we can't have that happen. The owner wasn't really, I believe, aware of it. But finally got a hold of the owner. Owner told him to vacate. So if you got a vacant property in this neighborhood, you need to make sure that people aren't moving. Once they move in your property, it's really, really hard to get them out. And that's not going to be the board's responsibility to get them off your property. You will have to hire lawyers. You will have to pay to get them out. So y'all need it. If you're not watching the property, maybe you need to have a neighbor watch the property for you. And because we had a hard time getting a hold of this person. We had no phone number, no email address. And so make sure you have a neighbor watch it for you if you can't watch it yourself.
That seems to be an up and coming thing.
Yeah.
People just squatting in a house.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to get them out. So
Yeah, once they get their hooks in your place.
Yeah.
Change the door locks, it take you months,
But-
year, get
And
them out.
it's getting known to those people that it's hard to get them out, so
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable doing it, so yeah.
Yeah, and there's people bringing buildings in, we're trying to bring buildings in that aren't improved. They're just trying to bring them up on the lot and move in immediately with no utilities. Okay, you can't be living in structures in this neighborhood with no utilities. No, no water, no electricity, no septic, nothing. You can't do that. So I know a lot of people think they can move a shelter in. I'll just use the restroom. Well, guess what? That restroom's not open all the time. What are you gonna do then? Uh, so any structure that comes in the neighborhood that person intends on living in as a dwelling is gonna require some sort of utilities. You just can't move in a shack and move in it. This isn't, backwoods Kentucky. So I'm sorry for anybody from Kentucky. That was just yeah. All right, trash roll off on weekends. Household items only. I know we say this repeatedly. There are signs posted back here that say no grills, no tires, is whatever. We continue to have people dropping those same items in the dumpster. And then if I catch up, they say, well, I never knew that. I've been here like 10 years and I never knew that. Oh, that's a bunch of malarkey. They pull up right to the fence line, unloading their couch and it says no furniture on the sign. They know better. I stopped one member a few weeks ago and he was dumping a grill back here in a 40-footer and kitchen countertop also. And I chased him down. I was over here. I ran over there and stopped him and he refused to go back and take it out of the dumpster. So, but people getting kind of bold. All right. Best thing you can do is get a good description, license plate, and follow up on this, whether report them to the sheriff's department or fine them. We got a sign back there saying fines begin at $200. So they might get, if it's one of our residents doing illegal dumping, they might get a $200 fine, If it's somebody who's not a POA member, they will get hit for trespassing and illegal dumping and let the sheriff's department take care of it. So we're pretty strict about this because they will not take these dumpsters if they got prohibited materials inside of them. So all right. Yeah, you want to talk about golf courts, same thing. Golf courts, we've seen kids underage, under 16, riding carts in the neighborhood. That is illegal. That's not our rule. That's the county's rule. The county authorized these vehicles to be ridden in this neighborhood, and they gave it some limitations. Gotta be 16. That cart has to be insured. Okay, and you can't exceed the posted speed limit either. Main roads are 25. Almost all the side streets are 15. So if your kid runs somebody over, guess who's gonna get sued? Okay, you the parent, whoever owns that golf cart's gonna get sued. So I'm just putting a warning out there. No ATVs, no three-wheelers, no quad runners allowed. That's county rule also, it's not ours. All right, and I saw last week there was somebody driving by. Oh, guy was in a golf cart, but he had his son on his lap, and the son was doing the driving. He had his hands on the side like this, and the son was driving. Okay, if he's steering that vehicle, guess what? He's driving. He probably been about 6 years old. Okay, so illegal. All right, don't do it. All right, next thing we have, Secretary Vice President Susan Hunt talking about finances and stuff.
Okay. As of last night, about midnight, our general fund had $137,000, 387.86 cents. Maybe let me say that now. It's a long day. $137,387.86. Road fund $43,404.23. Association dues For 2022 is 3106.15. Association dues for 2023, 62,679.30. Association dues prior to 2021, 13,646.49, and that's to date, not this in the last month, those are to date. And other payments received 1,776. We also have some late fees and interest in there, so total income. Operating income is 84,547.96. Our benchmark, I don't have the exact, but it was 85,000. We're about $450 away from what we need to benchmark. Total expenses to date is 36,901.21. That's the income statements. There were program that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a second, first and second motion, all in favor of approving, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes, motion's passed.
Updated delinquency report will be out on August 1st. Randy asked me one time, you thought, was there a bond for us? There is, and it is due, and it's due in August, so I don't remember the exact amount, but we did get the renewal, and that's going to be paid in August. I just want to encourage people to please update me when property is sold and purchased, so I can keep records straight. I just wanted to mention the final sale approval will be July 19th for the property we foreclosed on. Our attorney told us Wednesday that his recommendation to the judge is that $8,242.85 be approved to be paid out. Our dollars was about 8,000, is that right?
So we're getting the
Well,
actual,
that's what he's recommending we get is 8242.85, and I think he said that left about 200 or so for the county.
Yeah.
If they approve it the way he recommends.
well, that total amount often includes his legal
Yes.
fees and all. And then after all is said and done, there's gonna be about $240 remaining, which the county most likely is gonna get.
Yeah.
Unless they can find a relative who
Yeah.
claims it.
So the 8242, our fees were around 5,000, and then we have to pay legal fees out of that. So, but that's what he's recommending to the judge. So we should get our money for sure. So in addition to the monies we've collected, we'll collect the money for the bid. There's another 232.75. We had one member turn over their property. I haven't received a quick claim deed, but we will have another property up for bid hopefully next month. And there's another property sale that's in the works that we may receive a substantial payment for late dues on that. So we're really doing well on our income, I feel.
All right, thank you, Susan. Next we have Lucinda with Pools and Park.
Everything for the pool right now is going great. The repairs that need to be done are repairs that are gonna need to be done after pool season. The pool needs to be painted. And we also, have got to have cement work done. Because it's pretty chipped up on our edges. I still need volunteers. There's me and Amanda and Kendra, and then Dana John, who works one day a week there. Since I do not have a bunch of volunteers, so that I'm not there every day whenever the volunteers aren't. We have moved pool hours on Saturday and Sunday. We'll open now at 1 p.m. instead of 11.
So what, 8,
So, yeah, 7 and 8.
7?
7 on Sunday and 8 on Saturday. If it's not busy, I've been telling them to close early because there's no reason for them to sit up there in the heat, waiting 3 or 4 hours for somebody from the slum and never show up.
Okay, well, that's important because like we got volunteers, they're not being paid for anything
Right.
and they have family and things to do.
It's their time that they're
Yeah.
giving to us.
And like we said, we once had a paid position there and we can't afford for a paid position anymore. So that's probably not gonna happen. So, but I want to thank all the volunteers that do show up there, because without them, we wouldn't have the pool open right now.
That's
because we
correct.
have a lot of, legal and insurance reasons why we have to have somebody there. We'd have to verify that they're actual POA members in good standing, that kind of thing. Check the pool every, 2 hours or so.
Every 2 hours for chemicals, to make sure the chemicals are correct.
Yeah.
And that it's safe. I mean, you don't know. We did have an incident where somebody threw a bunch of lake mud in our pool. And so that messed our chemicals up for a little while. And so, it took us probably an extra $200 to clear it all up. And it shouldn't have. I mean, this
Yeah.
is your pool, people. Don't be bashing it, even if you don't want to use it, don't use it. But
Yeah.
you don't have to spoil it for somebody else.
Okay, we've had some water outages recently. When the water's out, we have to close the pool. Because,
They have to take a shower.
yeah, the bathrooms, with no water, we have to close the bathrooms because we don't want people making messes in there and not be able to flush. So if the bathrooms aren't available, then a pool has to be closed, and that's state law right
Right.
there. So just let everybody know. We've had some water issues recently.
That's it.
Okay, so I got there.
I would like to add, since we're talking about volunteers, I didn't even thank the volunteers that were over doing the voting. They showed up about 7:30 this morning. They've been outside since right before we started this meeting. The air conditioning wasn't working and they graciously stayed and sat outside all day. We tried to keep them as comfortable as possible, but Barbara Smith, Kay Bolig, and Mary Ann Farrell, they stayed and hung the whole day. Dawn sat with us all day, and it's volunteers that do that. They never complain once. I don't think I heard them complain once, but we appreciate people that help us, because that's what keeps things rolling around here. I failed to say anything when you
Oh,
opened
yeah.
that ballot.
Yes.
That's not it. And then we have the back update.
Yeah, I want to say that, without the volunteers, I'm not sure what we do right now because we can't afford to
Yeah,
hire any positions to do these things. And one thing I always notice every year, it seems to be the same group of people are the volunteers. If you got 4 volunteers to do most of the volunteering, and then everybody else just uses the facilities.
right.
So I'd like to see more volunteers do that. I know it's hard, people got jobs, but I think most everybody here has some kind of job or something going on.
Yeah,
So-
I've had several people that have not been happy with me. Because for some reason the pool can post, like without having water. Well, it's hot, we need to be able to swim. Well, I'm sorry, you can't swim without having to take a shower,
Right,
They can just be mad at me, but we're gonna follow the rules.
yeah.
State law.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, well, if you stick to the rules, you're always in the right. I mean,
Right.
once you start making exceptions, then it's a slippery slope there, so. Okay, I appreciate, pool updates, like say, I did see our volunteer who helped, who did most of the work renovating the pool. I did see him here today. He's still moving from his primary residence and he's working down there. So I did talk to him and it should be some free time. And we'll see about, it's just a minor issue. Some of the water that in the men's latrine, well, shower, some of the water it's going down the drain, some of it leaks out the door. And it kind of goes down toward the drain or it goes to the front wall. So we're just trying to we're trying to keep the water in the shower and not run out the doorway. So, but it's concrete floor and it's a drain there. So, I know the inspector already looked at it, right? And somebody made a complaint about the water coming out the latrine. She looked at it. Oh, it's just shower water. She thought it was, water coming from a toilet or something. That's what somebody said, apparently.
Somebody had turned it
So
on.
we got a lot of people out there who make fantasy phone calls to the health inspectors. They come here and it's not substantiated, so. All right, so as soon as he finds some spare time, I'll get with them and we'll see if we can. I made some suggestions to him already, so we're working on those. Oh yeah, and I'll just talk about facilities. Like I said, this building here, the AC went out probably last night. And we did get a spare part and it was fixed. It's working. I think it's kind of undersized for this building, but it's working. It'd probably be hotter in here if it wasn't working at the moment. But this is about as cool as it gets in the middle of summertime in this place. So. All right, roads and utilities, William.
Okay, so, really the focus now is gonna be on maintaining the ones that we've already covered. I did have gravel set to be delivered Friday. Storms came in. They won't be crusher up. After a rain like that, it's bad for us because you're paying for water weight. And then it's also, for them scooping soup, trying to get in the truck. So I had to stop on that, but my next, area to do is gonna be across the road, the Elkhorn Red Oak, deal. And then today I looked at, Mule Shoe got gravel, but the lead in from the concrete or from the pavement to the gravel, there's a big drop there. It needs to be some pressure run put up against that to hold that in. Had a complaint about Blue Trail cord. Went over there and looked at that one. That one's actually been done, so I think the resident hasn't been here since.
Yeah.
And then Red Rock, I'm still trying to see if I can get the county to help us with some of the steep hills. If we can get them, we buy the material and get them to bring the equipment out here and do them like they did the hill on
Yeah.
Harbor. It'll pack in nice and stay there, and they've got the right equipment to do it. And then as far as utilities, we all know there's water issues. I talked to the water guy, stopped him on the road when I was out looking around today. They fixed the 3-inch pipe leak, a 4-inch pipe leak, a 3/4 inch pipe leak. And they say they have good pressure and good flow at the water treatment plant right now, so everything should be back to normal as far as pressure and water supply to everything.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And as far as this water company, we're pretty much stuck with it. There's no other water company that services this neighborhood. And I know some people aren't happy with them. I'm assuming they're trying as hard as they can, and it's old pipes. Some of these pipes are not very, very deeply. I currently see few water pumps sticking above the ground. And people got the driveways right there, they're running over them. So they may have not been done the proper way years ago. So yeah, we do have some problems. So
And I'll say too, that, I mean, those guys, I know they get a bad rap. But, I mean, the guys that are out there working.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys will put 20 hours of work in. They don't go home. The only reason they left the other day is because the storm came in.
Yes.
And it's dangerous for them to be there.
Yeah,
So they
they were here
got-
till after midnight
Yeah.
and they were back out here like 5:30.
There's been several times they've been up 24 hours
Yeah.
trying to fix leaks. Back when the
Yeah.
electric company was busting all the lines, they were putting poles in and stuff. So
yeah, I think I think it's important if we have a major leak, it's probably important to let the members know as fast as possible. Otherwise, they start on Facebook and everybody starts making rumors and
I did talk to him when I stopped him too about, I got no notification whatsoever there was water issue.
Yeah.
I found out on Facebook
Yeah.
when somebody reported it, and I told him, I said, that's, Sook knows to call me. Now
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if there's a water issue, this is my number, you call me, because we can get information out. Through Appfolio or whatever, to everybody on a mass communication. So that, we'll see how that, I mean, I've had that conversation once and it started coming through, real quick when they had issues, and then now it's falling off. And
yeah.
so that'll get changed a little bit. We'll get that communication rolling again.
All right, great. Next time we get,
Well,
we're gonna start new business.
I think since it's 7 o'clock, we're 2 minutes till, maybe
We
we
want-
should postpone that to the next.
Okay, everybody agreeable to
Nothing important or very,
shelve new business?
I'll leave it up to you.
It's minor housekeeping kind of materials, look like mostly.
I'm okay with that. I know these people
Okay.
are anxious to hear, so we can move on. to the
Okay,
next.
we want to get moving on. Okay, folks just showed up. We do have in that refrigerator in the back. We do got some cold water if you're thirsty. So help yourself. The AC was fixed around 2:30. It's been running since. It's working as hard as it can. So it's about as cold as it's going to get right now. So. Okay, so we have a motion to end the board of directors meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we got 4 ayes. The board of directors meeting dated today is completed. So we have a meeting starting here in about 2 minutes. Looks like. Okay, we'll start here shortly. So folks can go grab some water right now if they want some. It's in that refrigerator in the back. So. Okay, I got 7 o'clock now. Okay, folks, I'm showing 7 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna get this ball rolling so you guys can get back home to the air conditioning. All right, so at this time, I'll call this meeting to order. Well, as far as roll call, the board left.
William Moses,
All
president.
right, Randy Powell, president.
Susan, present.
What's the no Albright present?
Yeah, Randy Powell present. So all the board members are present, accounted for. This is the public meeting. This is your meeting here. So I just want to remind people. First thing we want to do is we want to read the June 2023 POA minutes read by Susan and approved.
All right. June 24, 2023 POA meeting. All board members were present. We read the April 2023 meeting minutes. And they were voted on and approved. We went over the rules for nominations and voting procedures. Architectural, Randy Powell, discussed proceeding with fine process for members who will not comply with restriction violations, unauthorized structures, septic, trashy yards, non-operational vehicles, and we're trying to address those. We went over the boat ramp jurisdiction. It is not harbor property, so if you have issues, you need to contact the Army Corps engineer of the county. Harbor patrol, trash pickup is on Monday and Friday. Please do not overfill it or it will not be picked up. The holiday roll off is not for big trash. I knew everybody gets started hearing that, but it's always a problem. Anything in the dumpsters that's in violation, we will attempt to try to find who put it there. And there are cameras in use. We are having continued violations for loose dogs. Fines are being issued. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but we have had ongoing attempts by someone vandalizing and distributing nails and screws in our community. Please check your cameras when you hear of something in your area. You may provide information anonymously. And we do intend to take any legal action that we possibly can against the criminal that is doing this. I did the income statement and delinquency report update that was voted on and approved. We read a statement to the community. We had a special meeting. We removed the requirement for a fee to use the community center if it's an event that's open to the community. So we no longer have to provide that. There are a few guidelines. There has to be a POA sponsor or member in good standing. It'll be open to all the POA. If it's left unclean or in disarray, there will be a fee. Only BOD members, one of us four, or security will maintain keys for locking and unlocking. It's gonna be a hard rule, hard and fast rule. You'll have to make arrangements to open the previous evening after 6 p.m. and you have a few hours to get ready for your event. But we have a special meeting on 6/18 and we all approved to take away that requirement, to put down money to use General fund on the day of June 24, general fund was 138,662.21, road fund 42,914.23. 2022 dues collected to date was $2,809. 2023 dues collected was $59,874.76. Prior dues for 2022, back dues collected was $13,330.61. Total income in June was $80,684.07. Total expenses was $31,620.29. I advise that on the foreclosure update, there's going to be a final sale determination on July 19th. 11 of the properties that went to tax sale sold. One was a member paid the taxes for a neighbor's property that went to sale because they didn't want it to be purchased, and then another one's under contract, so it wasn't sold. In June, we had no bids on the lots that were for sale by the harbor. The board is still looking for someone with accounting experience to assist with our treasury. Starting July 31, 2023, a $2.49 fee will be initiated to use ACH on Appfolio. And I just want to clarify, I know I'm reading minutes, but that is an Appfolio fee to do ACH. That money does not come to the harbor. That's a fee that's placed by Appfolio. Please advise when there's a new owner, when you sell property. Pool and park report. We updated on the inspection from the health department. To date in June, our repair costs are $4,089.67. There's still a few repairs that need to be done. As mentioned in the previous meeting, it'll be after the pool closes. Still looking for volunteers. We're going to have to reduce the open hours of the pool. We also, after the pool closes, we're going to need a volunteer to clean the bathrooms after the pool season. We are accepting donations for the pool parks fund since we are way over budget on the money we had set aside to go towards that. We still need a little bit of floor repair. The volunteer that did that is in the process of moving. He's going to get to that as soon as possible. Lucinda reported that we need large tractor tubes after we close the pool to put under the cover. So if you have any large tractor tubes, we need those. We looked into getting an auto sweeper for the pool. $6,000 was the estimate, so that would show up immediately. We had a discussion about setting up a special pool fund, like what we do for the road fund. We're gonna discuss that further. We were waiting to see what happened with the vote on the increase. Roads and utilities, we're focusing on maintenance at this point. Please remove or clean 10 horns and clean out your ditches, please. We had a discussion adding to the ballot the 4+ lot dues cap. Investors and owners with properties in various parts of the harbor hurting income to the harbor. We discussed that the lots need to be adjacent to each other. Discussion for a 3% dues increase with annual increase to match national inflation rate. That is on the vote today. I just want to bring this up that was requested by the members to put on the ballot. The vote was 59 yes to put on the ballot. No was for 4 people. There was a discussion.
4 votes.
4 votes, yes, sorry. There was discussion on forgiving fees for people that purchased in the tax sale. Motion to place on the ballot effective going forward to forgive those fees. 67 voted and 1 abstained. 67 voted yes to put on the ballot, 1 abstained and did not vote. There was a discussion making effective date retro back to June 1st if forgiving fees was approved. We advised that we would have to seek legal counsel before we move forward with that. 62 voted yes to do that and 1 abstained. We had another discussion on the 4 lot rule. Suggestion again that they all needed to be adjacent. There was a proposal or discussion that if they're separated and in different areas, an additional $50 per lot over your 4 lots. No vote to take, no vote. Wrote, I wrote here. There was a lot of discussion in that area. It's just too much to share, but we didn't take a vote on that, on the $50 suggestion. We accepted nominations for board positions. Lucinda was re-nominated. And there was a motion to end the meeting. And accepted.
Okay, members, this is your meeting. We have a motion to accept the last month's minutes as read. We have a second? Second, everybody in favor of accepting the minutes you just read? If you got majority of the hands, anybody wants who says nay, no? Any no's out there? Okay,
I do want
Pass.
to say one thing before I move out. I didn't, our budget last year, I don't have the exact dollar amount, but it was at 85,000, about 85,000. Our income as of this afternoon, because I went and reprinted, because I know some people went and paid their dues this morning. Our income right now, total operating income is 84,547.96. We're about $452 away from our budget goal. And we have some pretty substantial income that may come in before the end of the month, and we're doing better than I think was anticipated. So we're hoping by the end of July to have some really good numbers. That's all.
all right, thanks, Susan. I want to get to this quickly because, some of you are here just to hear results of the elections. So I'm gonna read that now. So that's all you're here for, to give you an opportunity to get back home or something like that. So we did have the votes today. We did have 2 spoiled ballots out of the bunch. Spoiled, which means somebody just scribbled other stuff all over them, which is prohibited under the rules. I think one didn't have, we had no idea who it came from. They mailed it. And I want to say there was no return address on the envelope or anything. So we don't know who was it. Was it the name? There was a name.
There was a name on one envelope that.
They didn't own
was
property
really
here.
A property. For one.
Yeah. So the person didn't even own property here. So your guess is as good as mine, folks. So but we try to keep it all legal as possible and everything, and there's only 2 spoiled votes. So I think that was actually pretty good. So okay. And we had 3 papers. And the first, these 2 showed all the check marks showing the counts. And then 1 results on this piece of paper here. The first vote was to select Lucinda to be on the board for the next 2 years. That was the first vote. And we had 323 yes votes. So 323 yes votes for Lucinda to be on the board for the next 2 years. And we had 45 no votes. The yeses won. Lucinda is on the board for the next 2 years, voted in by the members. So welcome to the board. Remember, she is a voted in member. So, and we do still have 1 vacancy. And you guys know anybody that may be good with some numbers? Like from about, working numbers and all, that'd be real great. So, but we're looking for nominees, and it might come to the point where the board is actually tasked to appoint someone if we don't have anybody voted in. So we'll be looking at that also, appointing any volunteers. All right, second item was the 50% one-time increase, which would have come into effect on March 1st of next year. And after that, annually, followed with a small increase that was based upon the CPI, was Consumer Price Index, which is the inflation rate for that year. And that number is determined by the federal government based upon all the information they collect. So question was whether to approve that question or not. we had 135 yes votes for the 50% increase. And we had 246 no votes. So the no votes win. So that motion, that vote rather, is dead in the water. So I just want to remind people that it was your choice. It's your choice. Yes or no, that's your option. That's what you're here for. So, but you just have to remember, in any conversations we might have later in this year, where something's get closed, something breaks that can't be fixed, I'm gonna come back to this. And I'm gonna remind you that we tried, well, the community tried to make some improvements and they were voted down. So this was your vote. You gotta live with your vote, guys. So I just wanted, anybody, any questions about this vote at all? Anybody like to put in any words? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I just, bought this here, it's all done.
Okay, yeah.
New to the area.
Uh-huh.
Guys all, setting us in. My question is, if these guys are talking about bringing the taxes that were prior owned because someone bought the property. And I mean, I'm gonna bring that up if you don't mind. because-
That's gonna be talked about later in this meeting. It's on the
Oh,
agenda.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I just wanted to bring up the vote.
I was basically gonna say that money to use for.
Yeah.
Your,
Yeah, because some people came here just to listen to votes. They want to run out to the door. So we want to get that out of the way for everybody. It is hot here. And just a reminder, there's cold water in the refrigerator in the back. And they want to drink cold water. So
There was 124 members that voted,
124 members. That's not votes, that's members.
just members that
You
voted.
want this?
Do you want to go over that again?
Yeah, I was going to. Oh, that one? Okay. So we're talking about members. We're not about votes. About 120 something people, 24 people voted to vote. And then people have anywhere between 1 and 4 votes each, depending how much land they own. So if you ask me, it was a pretty low turnout this year. I've seen much better turnouts. I just passed there.
50% vote. Yeses was 135, the no was 246.
And we had probably about 85, 86 votes last month to add it to the ballot. So, but I just want to add in that there, watching Facebook, I watch, and there were a lot of people out there who were making things up. I didn't challenge them because it's up to you to decide if they're telling the truth or stretching the truth, whatever. It's not my thing. But there are a lot of people out there who stretch the truth and providing false information to people in social media. And I just ask that when you read social media, take it for what it's worth. It's your choice to believe them or not believe them, or at least even just do some research to see if they're telling the truth. So I'm just saying that what it is. Do you have a question or is your hand raised? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, well, right now there's about 850, around 800. There's about 2,000, I want to say 66 lots or so in the community. But we have approximately 850 owners of those lots. Oh, how many we do have not who were on the naughty list?
Probably 30 to 40. I don't know the number off the top of my head. I haven't checked. I would venture to say about 35% are unpaid.
Yeah, if they're not in good standing, which means if they owe dues, they're not in good standing and they cannot vote. And according to rules, they cannot even, they can't use the bathrooms, not supposed to, they can't use the dumpsters, they can't use the swimming pool. If you haven't paid your dues, you're not allowed to use those facilities. So, whatever reason they're not paying, I don't know. Everybody has a different story. So, I'd like the people to start paying. Because, people like you and I that do pay, we're pretty much keeping this boat floating right now without their help, and I think they need to chip in. So, yeah, sure.
Big problem is You have to get the person that's not paying, and then you want the rest who is paying to go positive on that 50%. Well, you need to get the others that aren't paying to pay,
Yes,
instead of getting the ones that are paying.
right. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. They should be carrying their own load, and we just had we had two lots that were just for, we just had a sheriff sale last month. And we'll talk about here later. And we did recoup some of our money that owed to us for that property, and our goal is to start doing that to other properties.
I think once you get some of those, more of those people paying that aren't, the ones that are would agree with that.
Right.
Agree. They
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I agree.
don't
Yeah, okay, we will get start getting rolling on this, because like I say, it's kind of hot. Okay, but it was just showing up, we just read off the votes. And, the first vote for Lucinda was yes. Second vote for the 50% increase, we voted no. Just letting you know. All right, architectural control. I'm trying to contact some members. Some members are hard to find because they don't live here. They're out in Arkansas, in Texas, California. And a lot of these don't have phone numbers. They don't have, email addresses. But trying to track these people down to get them to pay their dues or to have them clean up their lots is pretty tough. It's a full-time job almost, but we're doing as best we can. Harbor Patrol, I just want to say that if you're doing any work in the neighborhood, I'm not talking about clearing trees, that you're not required to get any kind of approval for that. But if you put a structure on your property, it really doesn't matter if it's a shed, if you plan to live in a thing, a trailer, putting a fence in, that kind of thing. You need to have an architecture control form submitted and approved before you do the work. You don't need one to put in the water and your septic. Okay, just let people know. Have the paperwork approved before you start doing the work. It doesn't cost you anything. You just have to send it via Appfolio. And that's the only way we accept it, because that goes to Appfolio and it gets routed through Appfolio to the approvers and approved that way. If you send it to me via email, text message, knocking on my front door, I can't take it. I'm gonna tell you to submit it to Appfolio. So I'm just letting people know. I still have people approach me with stuff. So all right. Harbor Patrol, trash. This is really year round, but it's mostly during the holidays when we have the 40-foot roll-offs out back. There's a list back there, pretty much says like no tires, no furniture, no grills, etc. It's posted right back there. Okay, you can't put that anywhere at any time in those dumpsters. The people we have a contract with, they don't want them in there. Okay, and then besides, we don't have all the extra room. We have room for people's trash, household trash. We don't have room for someone's couch. If we know who you are, chances are we could drop it back on your front porch, or we could just give you a $200 fine. Or if you don't live here, we could call the sheriff's department, get you for trespassing and illegal dumping. So there's people who've been living here 5-10 years and dumping stuff, and then I approach them, oh, I didn't know that. Well, they know that. We mention it every single meeting here. All right. So people do know that. All right. So I want to say last year I tried getting an extra dumpster in the back, and I tried, but the funds just weren't there to get an extra dumpster, year round for that. Some people said, hey, can get 2 40-foot roll-offs. The funds aren't there to get 2 40-foot roll-offs during holidays. So we have funding limitation on that. It's a good idea, I agree, but the funds just aren't there. So any questions about things you might want to put in there, the dumpster, like paints? You can't throw paints and oils and things like that in there, just get a heads up. Anybody got any questions about dumpsters? No. All right. Vandalism. We do got some vandalism in here. People are throwing nails, in the, and people's streets and driveways. If you catch them, oh, let us know. There's a lot of angry people in this neighborhood, like know who that person is. I mean, it doesn't look like they're protecting any certain group of people. It seems to be random to me. I can't tell who it is and why they're doing it, certain people, not others. So, but sometimes they throw them right in the middle of the intersection where everybody drives. And there's been a lot of flat tires in the neighborhood. Well, of course, flat tires cost you time, they cost you money, and they give you a lot of aggravation. So if you know who this person is, turn them in. You know, you'll probably get a pat on the back or a medal or something. All right, Harbor Patrol, we got children riding golf carts. County rule, the county's rule is you have to be at least 16 years old to drive a golf cart side by side in this neighborhood. 16 years old. That's not 15 and a half, that's 16. All right. That kid runs somebody over, you are liable. You will be sued. Definitely, I'm pretty sure. So they crash into something, you're liable. All right. Second of all, these carts have to have insurance on them. They're required to have insurance on them by the county. So make sure you got insurance on them. You're covered somehow. So, but if your kid's caught driving, they're going to be stopped. Some people on the side by sides, I know some of these side by sides can do 35, 40 miles an hour. The main drag on up here is 25 miles an hour. That's 25 miles. That's the maximum speed on the county road. Most of all these side roads here are 15 miles an hour. Okay, they go past my house routinely doing 30, 35 and a 15. And a lot of times they've been drinking too. So if you get caught, you know, me personally, if I see a drunk person drive by in a golf cart, you know, I'm gonna report them. So they shouldn't be on the road. They're driving past my house, they're gonna run me over, run my cat over, or whatever, I don't know. So we got rules that are given to us by the county, and you have to abide by them. So if their rules, that's the only way you can drive a golf cart in this neighborhood. You have to follow the rules. So and I've seen them almost run people over, and there were two fights. Yeah, there were two fights recently, and I want to say both the people on the side by side got decked. So, and then well, I'm not going to mention the details, but anyway, it gets pretty violent there in the streets when they almost run someone over and they get challenged. Okay, it can lead to fighting, could lead to some jail time maybe. So be careful. Vice President, next, any questions on the golf carts as far as what you're allowed to drive, not allowed to drive? All right, thank you. Vice President, Susan?
When I was talking about the anticipated budget amount, I didn't realize I hadn't done the income, all kind of running together, so I'm sorry. Okay, general fund as of midnight last night, $137,000, 387.86. Road fund is 43,404.23. 2022 dues collected to date is 3106.15. Association dues for 2023 collected to date is 62,679.30. 2021 dues and prior collected to date is 13,646.49. Other payments, $1,776 for a total operating income of $84,547.96. That's where I was referring to earlier that our budget is $85,000, so we're about $452 away from our budgeted amount. Total expenses today are $36,901.21. We are expecting some, if things go the way it should, we are expecting some substantial income before the end of the month. I hope it goes through. We have had one lot that's been donated. I'm waiting on the quitclaim deed, and once that's out there, we're going to put another lot on the website to bid on. Yeah, on the income statement. The foreclosure update, we kind of mentioned that a few minutes ago. The final sale hearing will be July 19th. Our attorney has recommended an amount of $8,242.85 to be awarded to us. Obviously, our fees and the back dues will come out of that, and our legal expenses will come out of that. So around 5 or so is supposed to come to us, and we have about 3,000 in attorney fees.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the amount owed on those two properties to the POA was about $4,500. So the amount owed to us in back fees was about 4,500. The remaining are lawyer fees. So we asked for what's owed to us, and we want you to pay for all the legal fees and filing fees also. So we received judgment for all of that. So we are getting our amount owed, but the lawyer's getting paid also for his portion. So,
We don't have to come out of that
Yeah.
pocket. 11 of the 13 properties that went to auction sold. One property, a neighbor paid the taxes due, but he didn't want anybody to buy it. And another one, is under contract, being sold. So 11 of the 13 sold for those. We've mentioned that we're still looking for someone who might assist with folio or assist in the treasurer position. If you know somebody, or if you want to volunteer, we'd love to hear from you. Just a reminder, after July 31st, there will be a $2.49 fee to pay with ACH on AppFolio. That is an AppFolio fee, not a harbor fee. So it's free to do ACH up until July 31st. So now there's not going to be a fee. And just a reminder, kind of some of this conversation goes back to, we don't know what some of these owners are. So if you know where they are, if you sell something, if you buy something, it is so beneficial if we can keep updated information on our system. All that.
I appreciate that. So, let's see. Okay, next, anybody got any questions on what was just said? At all? No question? All right, go on to the next item. We got the pools and park, Lucinda.
Our pool's doing good. We do still have repairs that need to be done. They will be needed done after the pool season closes. We have seen it work around the edges of the pool that need to be fixed. And we also need to paint the pool this year. So the pool will have to be drained totally and painted. I still need volunteers. Due to the lack of volunteers, we are cutting the pool hours on Saturdays and Sundays. And the pool will not open until 1 p.m. instead of at 11 a.m. Those are just for 2 days. And so the pool hours are normal hours. So if you know of anybody that wants to volunteer, so we can have the pool open sooner on the weekend, so just get in contact with me. I'd be glad to get them set up and trained. And we do need somebody to come and clean the bathrooms after pool season is over with. If the bathrooms are for sale, then we need a cleaning person. If we don't have a cleaning person, the bathrooms will have to be closed. Somebody has to maintain them. Right now, the pool volunteers are doing that. And I have opened the bathrooms back up full time, as long as they are staying clean. If they begin to get scratched again, we will close them, except for when they are open for pool hours. We have to have a shower for pool hours, otherwise the bathrooms don't have to be open. I still need large tractor tubes to go underneath the tarp for when the pool is closed for the winter, to keep the water from pulling up on top of the tarp. Anybody got any questions?
Do we know how much it's gonna cost to refill the pool?
Yeah, we do not have that.
Okay. Well, 65,000 gallons full. Yeah. So we can probably get it. We can probably get some kind of number from the water company. That covers the first 1,000 gallons. It's considered built into and then it's so many dollars per after that. We can probably come up with a number. Call the water company. Yeah, well, the health department is what recommended it. They recommended it. So we're gonna,
It's not just something we're wanting to do.
it needs done regardless, but yeah, but the health department says we need to do it, so.
And all of that money that we just. Like that. This rebuild.
Good chunk of it, yeah.
Unless we have people, I know back home where I came from, whenever we had to bring those big poles. The fire department and some of the companies around that had big tanker trucks. Let us pump our pool water into their trucks for holding while the pool was being cleaned. And then that water was just put right back into the pool. So there's an idea, if you know, people that have tanker trucks and be willing to do that. Do you have a question, sir?
Yeah, but I don't understand why these guys, why are the bathrooms open? I mean, I understand for the pool purpose, but when the pool's not open, why are there bathrooms open?
Well,
As
that,
a courtesy,
yeah, that question comes up every year, because there's a state requirement to have the bathrooms open and in good shape when the pool's open. That's a state requirement.
I agree with that.
But,
I mean.
But there's nowhere, yeah, there's nowhere in our bylaws that says that pool must stay open other than for the pool. It's more of a courtesy given right now. And we've had problems with people vandalizing that thing, where we've had to close it for some times. But yeah, it's a courtesy. It's not required in the bylaws.
There is a segment of the population here that has RVs or they don't want to fill up their black tank, so they'll come out. There's, occasionally we have tent campers in here. So it's really more just a courtesy. That's all it is, a courtesy. As long as it's not being vandalized, we'll try to work with the members.
There's even some that just do like the hunting cabin here, because it's all the, you know, public hunting land around, and they just, and, you know, use the bathroom in the shower.
On the people that pay their dues and everything else, for
Well,
somebody to go use the bathroom that.
they're
you know.
supposed to be dues paying members using those as well. I mean,
It's not public, yeah.
To me, it's wasting money. You just have to look at for an option for trying to budgeting. If you leave something open year round, and I understand we're paying that full time, but to me, that does not, it's gonna add up to me, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So, bathrooms were closed last winter because we did have problems with, the pipes breaking and freezing. So we're looking at maybe doing that again this year. Since we, haven't gotten any insulation or anything like that around our hot water tank and stuff like that. Those walls are super thin and those pipes are going to bust if the water is turned on. And what we would do is just turn the water on and off to the restroom as there were things going on in the community building. If like for Halloween, or if we had a Christmas party or something like that for the community, or even our Thanksgiving dinner, we would turn the bathrooms on, so you would have access to the bathroom during that time, but the water would be turned off and the bathrooms would be closed again.
I can understand it 100%, but it's just, to me, I mean, if you did a budget cost effective as far as, you know, what do those costs, leave that open all year round compared to shut it down,
Right.
you know, and you're saving money by shutting it down by all means. I mean, everybody, we're not little house on the prairie.
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
you got running water.
Yeah, and we do have, well, I've seen some people advertising lots in this community that who are saying that, hey, we got free year-round bathrooms. And B&Bs are saying the same thing, that they're saying, hey, we got free bathrooms year-round. And some of these shelters here, they're not approved. I'm telling you right now, there's some buildings here people are residing in. And they don't have any utilities generally. And this is the only bathroom they got. They're not supposed to be in those shelters. They're not legal. They never got approved. And there's some people that who said they're doing renovations in a bathroom, and they've been doing renovations the last several years. And they're the first ones to protest when we talk about closing bathrooms.
takes a long time to get that wax sealed.
Yeah. I mean, years doing renovations. And I know one building in this neighborhood that they don't have any utilities. Okay, and they're showering outside with a hose and they're going down to the creek washing. So, I mean, yeah, there's there's problems.
We did close the bathrooms after Memorial Day.
Yes.
For a period of time, because people were going in there, I wouldn't even tell you what we did. But,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, we did close them down, and as a courtesy, we decided at Fourth of July weekend, because there would be a lot of people in here, we opened it up and we put it out there, but if it was vandalized or not taken care of, we'd start shutting it down. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shut her down, they'll walk in there in half an hour. So that, you know, open place, let that-
oh, yeah. Yeah, and we've had people put concrete in the latrine, you know, and stop up the drains, and now, yeah,
That's right now, it still might be ready.
oh,
Oh, you
okay,
did? Okay.
all right, but,
We really blessed with like the toilet paper and paper towels, but, some people have donated for, you know, to be able to keep it stocked. But, I mean, it does, it runs into money, even just for that big of toilet paper, you know? And, you know, I don't expect the volunteers to go in there and clean up somebody's crap that is smeared all over the wall. I don't go for that,
Literally.
I literally, literally, she got a replace that. But, I mean, I don't expect myself to have to go in there and do it, but I do it, you know, as a courtesy, as my position on the board, to be able to have the bathrooms open. Like I said, you know, if it's gonna be trash, then we'll lock them up, except when the pool's open. All right. Okay, I can close when it's good for 4 hours. If that's what
Well,
I wanna do.
well, as far as the amenities in the neighborhood, the common areas, according to the rules of the POA, it does provide the board authority to make decisions over common areas, and that's what we've been relying on. So, yeah, but we did have a vote one year to close this whole, somebody wanted to make a vote about closing the pool bathroom areas permanently, and that didn't pass. So that happened just a few years ago. But, I mean, it provides people a way, especially if you got visitors, like contractors working on your house. You know, people who are working on their properties, they're legal property owners, but now they don't have a house yet. They're trying to put a house in there. They need a place to go. I understand that, you know, I really do. It's just the people who don't take advantage of the system and leave a mess for others to pick up or clean up. Those are the ones I really don't, you know, want here. Tell you the truth.
I'd like to comment that there has been chatter on social media. Somebody said earlier they think that I'd like that comment, but there's a lot of chatter out there. We need to get a paid person that can do that and go in there and clean that. I'm sorry. There's no amount of money that nobody's gonna go, we paid to go in there and clean up stuff like that. I wouldn't expect somebody to have to do it. I wouldn't do it. Even if I was paid to work in that office, I wouldn't go in there and clean that bathroom up like that. No, nobody should have to do that. People should use some common sense and courtesy for, they're going in there and destroying their own property. The members own that property. Not just not the board, not just a few, not just the people that use the pool. This is not owned by the membership, and you go in there and do that, you're costing your own property expenses and damage.
It's limited to like for daytime hours, where the facilities are open. Because that's when the contractors would be here working on the houses, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when the pool attendants are here on the weekend, but it's open and the rest of the time it's closed. Now that makes sense because, Dawn and Butch is around, they're kind of keeping an eye on things. There's other people out and about. You know, something, you know, is going on, but somebody's probably going to see something. But to have things in the middle of the night happen and nobody knows it, you know, we can go a lot of water, a big water bill, you know, and then that can start. Okay, you know, it doesn't make any sense, not the business practice. If we can have the attendance or have the security or whatever to reach, cost us money we don't have.
Well, as you see, sir, here it is daylight hours. And it is open, and We just had.
It wasn't like that earlier today. That happened sometime this afternoon. Yeah.
Up in the campground. Cars, those people, if I see the code, go in. And that is the floor, it's what 90 went in, who even word. Every single time you do it. You can do this, just wipe a car, but I'm pretty.
That's in campgrounds, they're across this country, because we travel all across this country.
That's a good idea, but there's a cost involved. And we don't have the money to buy, it might cost, I don't know, $8,000 to $10,000 to do something like that. And yeah, well, I do IT and, you know, I control a lot of the bathrooms there in the city, Tahlequah, and, you know, code keys and pestle numbers, and they don't work. We're back to deadbolts, having been deadbolted at nighttime, and they're really expensive and they get vandalized a lot.
Oh, thanks.
So.
Open the door for a lot.
Yeah, we've got the magnetic bars up there. They go in there and rip them off. They kick it open, they kick the doorknob off, you know.
Even if some people, it's like a lock, all of those people, honest.
Yeah, keep the honest people out. But that's a good idea, but there's a cost involved, and we simply don't have the funds available to do something like that. It is a good idea. And then people make recommendations about more cameras. I've seen a lot of things floating around there. People saying, well, maybe we need to have cameras in the bathroom. Well, yeah, really, that's not gonna happen, all right? But we could put one facing the doorway, so you comes in, comes out, but if you got 10 people go in and out, and well, it was okay when I got in there, well, it was good when I went in there too. What are you talking about? It wasn't me. And how do you prove?
You can narrow that down to 10 people.
Yeah.
But if all 10 people say it wasn't me,
Yeah, if you nail down 10 people and they all say, well, it wasn't
you
me,
got no proof.
what do you do, you know?
The sad thing also is that, people think that it's just kids that are doing it. It's not just
kids.
kids.
It's
Yeah.
not good.
No, it's grown adults. Grow up.
Yes.
We need some drive-by spankings. That's what we need. That's what we're giving out.
Yeah.
Whoever's in the vicinity, you get
Yeah.
a spanking.
But say, you know, but a lot of these concerns have been brought up before. Every year, the same suggestions come up and all, and we try to find something better. But it comes back to the same thing was, you know, we got people in the community that are, you know, vandalizing the thing over there. So, and it's really hard to nail these people down unless they get caught in the act. So,
And I hate to be, I'm the one who has to figure a lot of this out. It is a matter of money, and go out there and look at that delinquency list and see what neighbors around you that aren't paying, and say, you know, we can't do a lot of things because you're not paying your part. That's why we can't do these things. What we're collecting is, you know, keeping us afloat, but we can't do the extra things with like key card for the bathroom, key card for the pool, or a code for the pool. I mean, there's lots of things that we could do, but you've got that segment of population out there that won't do their part, and it's just accruing and accruing and accruing and accruing.
Can I ask something? What is the population use of the pool from here to justify the pool?
We've been averaging up to 17 to 20 people a day.
And that's every day, because I come up here and I will see the scuba divers in there. Now, what do they have to do with the harbor?
They pay.
They rent.
The pool. They
Yeah.
rent the pool.
$1,600 a year, and that buys chemicals for
That's
people.
what-
Otherwise,
Well, then,
we couldn't pay for it.
The population. I just see a couple of little kids in the pool and 3 women up there, and that's day after day, and it's like, this is all that comes to the pool, except maybe on your 3-day holiday.
Yeah, like on the weekend for 4th of July and Memorial, we were right at 40 people a day in the pool.
Okay.
and it's throughout the day. It's not all at one time. Yeah.
There's how many in the group?
But it was put, what was it, last year, or year before last, it was put to vote to close all that down.
Yeah,
Last year.
And
we
the
had it on the
members voted to keep
ballot.
it open.
and the members voted to keep it open.
But it was, I mean, it
Yeah.
was voted by the members to keep. to
Well,
keep it going.
chemicals alone are about 2,000 a year, just for chemicals. And if you walk into repairs, if you're trying to hire somebody, it goes upwards of like $6,000. And then besides that, pool still needs to be replastered. And, you know, we had a bid about 4 years ago, and the bid was somewhere around $40,000. It's probably a lot more now. You know, to drain it, replaster it, and all.
I think
Almost.
it's kind of garden.
I almost wonder if it,
Yeah.
if it has to
Okay,
stay open,
okay.
it would be more economical to put a fiberglass insert in it.
Okay, Susan,
40 grand for
I
refinish.
think we got a little on the edge there. Susan, you're still working? Wait, where were we at?
Then she was.
Yeah.
She said.
Okay, volunteers, bathroom repair, tractor tubes. William?
Okay, so roads, we still got some work to do on some roads, the next area. I had gravel ready for this week, weekend to come in or, Friday. Rains shut it down because they won't do, pressure run that much during the rain. So try again next week, but we'll get, the Elkhorn Red Oak area across the road done. I did go look at Mule Shoe today. The Mule Shoe Road itself is good, but the lead in into it, the transition from paved to gravel. Evidently we missed that with pressure run. Help kind of hold everything together on that one. So get that one done. Did have a complaint about Blue Trail Court, but that one is complete. And then from then on, I'm gonna start some of the ones with the hills, Spaniard Creek, Red Rock, those that are a little more difficult, need some ditch work. So we'll get the ditch work done. But from here on out, it's basically gonna be, once Elkhorn across the road, all that area is done, then I'll start working the, Spaniard Creek, Red Rock, those, dig the ditches out, put the gravel in, move on. And you know, for the most part, I do wanna, I don't know if all of you were here, last year I asked, for the vote to be changed. They had a vote, prior to me being on the board, to reserve $60,000 to pave around the office area. And, I asked, if the members would consider changing that vote so we can start paving some roads, the actual roads you drive to get to your houses, your properties every day. That did go through and, you know, from that, we haven't even spent that $60,000 yet. We're about $53,000 that we put on the road surfaces and equipment rental so far. And, I think we can get just about everything done really close to that $60,000. So I appreciate that. You know, giving me the opportunity to get it done, on that end. Then the only other thing I have is obviously there's been some, well, kind of two things. There's been some water issues in the neighborhood. They had to do a repair on a 4-inch line, a 3-inch line, and a 3/4 line here these last couple of days. They have all those fixed. US Water has all those fixed. So you should be having water pressure. You should be getting good water pressure and water everywhere. There's a possibility, they haven't got back with me yet, but there could be a boil order because it depends on how much they depleted the water supply down at the water plant. If that goes down below a certain level, it's a mandatory boil order. So keep an eye out for signs. They will have to put signs at the front of the entrance if there is a boil order.
If they call you and tell you, I'll put it out. by
Right, yeah.
Text and email, because if you're not leaving or going in and out of harbor, you don't
You
know.
don't see it,
you
right.
know. I go several days sometimes and never leave here. I would never know if I could
Right.
go in and out.
And then the only other thing on utilities, like I know there's some people in here that just recently bought some lots. My suggestion, and this is just me suggesting only, if you do not have water on your lot, try to do your water tap as soon as possible. I've had conversations with the water company. They haven't came out and said that the rate is gonna go up. But from the time I moved in here till now, the sewer went from $3,000 to $7,700. The guy at the water company didn't say they were gonna raise the rates, but he said they're putting about $900 worth of parts in that hole when they dig that water tap, and they charge $300. To me, the writing's on the wall. The water tap's getting ready to go up. So if you have a new property that doesn't have water on it, try to get your water tap done while it's still $300. Save yourself. Yeah, I would guess they'll probably go up $1,100, maybe $1,000, $1,100 if they're putting $900 worth of parts in the hole.
Now, you know, something we had the water department standing right on our property. We were discussing having water. This is one lot separate from our other three. There's no water on it. We asked them, what do we need to do to get water? Well, we can get out here, we can get this done. A year goes by. They never came back out, they never said anything. He said, and there were several properties there. They got the meter there, but no water running to their house. And said, we'll come out here, we'll get this taken care of. We have these conversations all the time. And US Water will stand there and discuss it, how we'll be out here next week.
Where are they at?
And you have to, you keep calling them, and keep calling them, and they don't come out.
Okay, so there's a water meter on the property, but there's no,
Not on ours, on the one right beside it. It's right at the
yeah,
corner of it.
okay.
There's a water meter there, but we don't have one, and we wanted water over there. And they said that it needed at least get a meter there. And they could run the water for us if we wanted it.
Meters fell on that. Once you put meters, we got to run on.
Right.
Right.
But for the meter to be put in, you have to fill out the application for a water tap. I've got one here. I've got one here, I'll give you. You have to do the water tap first, fill the form out, and this is actually an updated one. I can print it off, so. This is an updated one that tells you that the water tap fee is 300, and the sewer is 7,000. They added,
We did once, we just wanted water.
they added $700 for that. Reduced the base on some next week.
You know, set up the.
So, yeah, fill that in, the address, stuff on there. Put a check on it, just $300. And they'll go get your water tank. Yeah, other than that, that's all I've got for.
Okay, quick question. I know this was brought up by a member and we did discuss it, but one of the members wanted to put a one-way road in front of her house. I know we discussed that.
And I don't know if they're here.
They're not.
There was, okay, so there was some discussion in the last meeting about putting signs up. Some of these roads that have really steep hills. We get a lot of issues with like somebody trying to pull a boat trailer up the hill and then start spinning and mess the gravel up. And they wanted to know if we could do one-way roads, put signs up for one way for this one, down one way. We can do it, but we have no way to enforce it. You know, we can't go out and police the roads. We can't, pull people over, give them tickets, stop them from doing it. There's no way to actually enforce it.
It'd be an honorary system.
Right. And
Yeah.
Right. Well, I suggested, at least putting maybe a steep hill, no trailers sign for the people that don't know, because if you live there, even if you've got a utility trailer to haul you side by side or whatever on, if you can get up that hill or not again. But if you come around the corner, like leaving the boat ramp, hey, let's go this way. Oh, crap. We can make it. Wah, 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 and start digging rush.
Yeah.
They don't know, but people that live there would know. And I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, you're spending money on still on a sign that is a warning that you can't enforce.
But-
Right, that's the thing, we
Yeah.
have no way to enforce it.
But you could put a sign that says caution steep hill ahead. But as far as one-way signs, they're really not enforceable.
Now,
Yeah.
you were talking about everybody responsible about taking your pictures out.
Yeah.
Okay, there's two properties just down from us. The rain comes, the heavy rains come down Main. They cross over the property into a runoff ditch. Well, the people aren't there, that's a big runoff ditch and a lot of water is through there. Well, it's all backed up, probably from that big rain we had last spring. It's all backed up through there. And then it crosses over the West Burke Cabin Road to two properties where nobody lives there. Well, there are pine trees there and the pine needles have backed up so bad in there that it's just flooding into the ditches. the problem, water comes up in there. And there's just nobody between those breaks. It's like this
That's part of the
property.
undertaking that I've taken on is I understand that, there's abandoned properties or properties that don't, well, if you've got your area of the ditch clean, we'll take care of the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'll get it straightened out.
Well, the one that's, property that's for sale. And then the other one, the people that own it live in Roland. And they haven't been out here for 2 years now.
Right, and see, there's nothing in the, like the, what am I thinking, the fines, the
Violation.
violations, there's nothing on the violations form for ditches.
Yeah,
I think there needs to be something put there. I mean, we've got to get them straightened out first and then enforce it later on and, like I said, I think there's only like, what, two or three people that maybe live on Spaniard Creek. And I mean, those ditches,
Yeah.
Flood up, cross the road, wipe everything out. And, that's the thing we're trying to avoid is we're putting money into these roads. We don't want to wash to the bottom of the hill. So,
that's why I was wondering, are the property owners responsible for those big runoff ditches? Because the one guy, I'll name a name, it's Randy Oates, he hasn't been out in a while. But he had a tractor, he said he was going to pull that ditch. And he decided to take the tractor over to Rudy where he lives. And just let the ditch stay that way. But then even if he cleans this out where it crosses over Burke Cabin Road and goes into the other,
if there's nobody there,
there's nobody there. So,
Right.
it doesn't do him any good. If the other one is taking care of it.
yeah, we've been pretty lucky so far. Everything we put on the ground is held. We kind of tried to pack, if we did clean gravel, we pack pressure run at the top and the bottom. Kind of hold it in place and it's worked real well, but yeah. Good deal. I'm glad somebody's happy. But yeah, we'll start working those. We tried to get a majority of stuff done that was, didn't require a lot of ditch work, anything like that. And, at least before the lake season started for everybody, have a lot done, so you can come out here and see that, hey, things are starting to roll the right direction.
Property where no good, it's just a finding.
Yeah.
And I was going to go in there and dig it, try to dig it out. But
Yeah,
I can't get around poison ivy.
right. And
I will end up in the hospital.
yeah, see, we're renting equipment. We have equipment here in the harbor that we have access to rent, and we'll go that
It's
way with
just
it.
a finding, if they were dug out of there, they put a wood bridge over that ditch.
I think I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about. That's
And
it.
those needles packed up. in
Yeah.
there. There's a hole about this big, the water gets through.
Oh,
But it runs right over the top of it when you have those big heavy rains.
We've even talked about, like, I know on Spaniard Creek on one side of the road, I think there's one house over there that's occupied, and then there's like a site that has it used to be a trailer house, but it's just a frame. And that tin horn is like plugged to the max. And it, we've talked up here, we're gonna send, we run into situations like that. I think we need to send an email to the property owner and say, look, this is an issue, it's your responsibility to clean up. Can we pull the tin horn out? At least pull the tin horn out. If they're not living there, they don't need a driveway. Pull the tin horn out, set it on the property, the ditch will flow. I can put gravel on it, and then if they want to, move something back on that property, their tin horn's laying there, try to do it without tearing them up, but I mean, that's, we can't invest our money in thousands and thousands of dollars of material for, somebody to, just not do anything with a tin horn and watch it all away. We decided from the beginning, we're not gonna put water, or we're not gonna put rock on roads that need that type of work until that work's done.
Hey, quick question, getting off track. Now, it's not under our purview, but you got any word from the county commissioners about Indian Road improvements? They got a new window or time?
Nothing from county commissioner on Indian Road. I've heard, they're close to opening, toward, what would that be?
Paradise Seal.
Paradise Seal.
Yeah.
I've heard it's paved. I've heard they're putting up guardrails, and then once they get the guardrails done, they're gonna move to the break right out, to the right out here. Pave that one, put guardrails up, and then my understanding is, and I'll try to get more information, is they're gonna open that in as soon as they get the guardrails done. So, yay, we can go door instead of driving around the lake.
A dollar store, hey. Okay,
I would much rather go to Gore for my shopping and all that
Yeah.
stuff than go to California. So
oh, yeah.
that's just me. I miss it.
Okay, we got new business coming up, and one of the items we were gonna talk about with new business was what was discussed last month was concerning the tax sales, so that's, we have that under new business here. We did get an opportunity to talk to our lawyer, and he provided us some legal advice on the situation, so just give us a moment. Okay, we got new business starting, and we're just gonna touch on the tax sale situation. Oh, do we have another item?
No, that was it. This is open discussion. We can't vote on anything.
Yeah, we don't have a
We don't
quorum
know
here.
who's in here, who
Yeah.
can't vote, so this is just kind of open discussion. But this gentleman wanted to talk about,
The tax sale.
the tax.
Well, you can tax sale.
I forgot already.
Well, what do you guys, when you possess property, when you buy property at tax sale, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you assume the debt of that property also?
Yes,
So why would we give HO or fees to somebody that, these guys, want us to say, the guy bought the property, he shouldn't have to pay the fees on that, back taxes or back fees. You assume that from anything you buy from the tax, right?
You should, you
Well,
should.
well,
You should do your work and find
Yeah,
out what all's going
the
on.
county will not tell you, even the county has a record of a lien.
Mhm.
They will not tell you there's a lien on her, but I personally have myself in these meetings and on Facebook, I told people, every one of those lots that were for sale has a lien on it. Do your due diligence. I have said that. I assume people did the due diligence.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I must have, was informed wrong by me or whatever, but I've been hearing
yeah,
that they want that you all, BOA wants to forgive people for the back taxes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, we have to be careful about that because we are a nonprofit organization and there's laws that prevent us from doing that. Otherwise, we will lose our nonprofit status. Yeah,
Well,
there's a,
Those were questions though
Yeah.
raised by members to put on the ballot that we just voted on too. So it's not it's not the
Yeah.
board up here trying to make the rules.
yeah,
So it's, you guys have the right to change bylaws and things like that by votes on these meetings.
Yeah.
Do we,
Well,
do we have that right, put it on there and have it? Because the lawyer showing it.
well, yeah.
Well, but then it has to be, the
Had the legal-
terminology has to be done in a manner that it's very descriptive of what the vote is. It can't be general. He went over the way we had it written down from the meeting. He said
Why did
this is not even,
you put it on the ballot appropriate, right?
we just need more time to research it and consider. And the retro, he said, absolutely, you're opening yourself up on that.
How do we understand
Yeah.
that? Back to- But the one we were looking for, the hit in March, he should have given you the right name for on the day, and he could have screwed for the next
Well,
16 months.
we went to visit him this week. It's not off the table. It just wasn't on the vote today.
We can have a special election at any time.
Yeah.
We can have a special election at any time. We just needed more time to research it thoroughly because the way it was worded, he said, you're gonna get all kinds of class action and you're gonna have people suing you right and left. He says, way it's worded, so we just need more time to develop it into something that may be put on a special ballot in the future. Just couldn't do it today.
And what you have to understand is, we aren't looking to protect us as a board, we're looking to protect us as a community.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but I just want everybody to
But-
understand that, if we're for the whole community, you know.
They come in here and they vote, and then they leave, and they don't give two damns about this community. And everybody in here cares, otherwise they wouldn't be.
Correct.
How many votes came in and voted against the increase because of whatever reason they did?
It's about,
And
Yeah.
they're leaving it at this place going, I'm not saying a dime until I see some results. But you can't see any results until you have the damn money that next results. And everyone that's staying here.
I would like to just comment on something that I've read a few times. Is some members have said, well, they say we don't have any money, yet they did all that work on roads and spent all that money on the roads. Well, there's a separate road fund.
They don't really-
That money has sat there. There was about $90,000 in there when we started. It sat there for years and years. It took a long time for $10 a month to add up to $90,000. And that tells you how long anything had ever been done. And that's where all that money came from, the road fund. It didn't come out of the general fund.
How much is $90,000 covered today on a road versus 1995?
Exactly.
Single lane around this building at the back, and it was over $4,000.
Yeah.
You got rescinded. What the hell I do? And I appreciate the money and make things better with gravel. 100%. But people don't see that money, 1995 money is not like 28 freaking years. And they're going, well, I don't see anything, but you're not going to do the thing with that young money.
Right.
I can't raise the rates because I'm not seeing any results, but if you raise the rates, well, they're on fixed income. Well, everybody's on fixed income of some sort. Then every dollar that you get, you either move to a place that you can not have to have that outside of the corner of the county and take your spot. But in a community like this, it takes money to make things happen, and they don't care because they want to sit in their little spot and do what they do. Next thing you guys need to do, and I don't mean to be an asshole, but I'm going to. You know, when bathrooms got shut down and everybody went crazy. Good deal. Shut down the trash. You wanna see people lose the goddamn, lose their mind? Shut down the trash and have them call Billy's Trash Service to come and pick their stuff up because the dues don't cover it anymore. We gotta maintain the facility. And let's just see how many people we actually make. Because the dues are so much less than that annual trash box would be by itself.
That is an
We
option.
can't afford it. We can't afford it. They are not paying the damn dues. Those that do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. We're living on a 1991.
That's why, I mean.
bylaw wants to be changed though, too, yeah.
Get something more
Yeah.
permanent and just for West Canyon Rock Road. that- 'cause I got two lots over there. Since I was talking to the guy, he said, well, let's use your road right there. It was over $40,000 to chip seal that one road. So there's half your budget. So we got one road done. And everything's in disarray.
10% into the road fund of 1995, it made a mile of road. In 2023, it makes about that.
Yeah, it makes a foot of road.
And they still don't pay all the other things out of it.
Right.
So they can wait, start taking things away and pay bills that you have to pay to keep the place solvent. That's make people understand that we are in 2023, not 19. And I mean,
Yeah.
With increase. We need to start closing to let the people know that we do not have money. The increase must be done in order to live in this area.
if we have to close the garbage place, they get their own garbage can privately. We don't have the money. I think that's why they said close.
Yeah, but it was on the ballot and people,
And that was
folks
put
want to
on
know,
the
yeah.
ballot, and it was voted to keep it open.
Yeah.
Was it you?
It had
$40,000
Yeah.
added to her property value. The
The
trash
whole
is not gonna add any money to your property value, that pool will.
Yeah.
The amenities in this place that is gonna build in increase property value. Trash service is not an amenity that will add the value of your lawn. Put money in the pool and dump the trash, make this place back what it used to be as a community outside. And let people pay their own taxes, and see where they go from there. And then you go back and you. Sue them and you're getting.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
correct.
it's all those guys.
How you gonna collect the money then? Which one? That owns it, if you're, everything sounds great that you're saying, but you're not forcing the people to pay the back. I'm not talking about the people in their back, but a lot of people are deadheads anyway, but you gotta deal with them, and have to deal with them. I understand that, but you're putting it on the head of the people that are following the rules. You're taking away amenities for her, for me, because certain individuals are not disagreeing with you, but they're saying, the money. It's over 95 money. You don't buy on 95 money. If people pay the damn money that they owe them, the property. And I'm not disagreeing with you that we have to keep it as those of us that we grass and stuff this place. But the people that haven't paid are not gonna pay no matter what happens in this room. They're not going to. They are suing these people, they are leaning these people, they're taking them to court with the little money that they got. But they don't have a hell of a lot of money, because the place don't have no money. So they're taking one at a time, and every time they win one, you take that money and they go to the next. And
Yes,
they take that money and they go to the next, and you and
Yeah.
me, we're sitting over
might take
here,
forever.
and we're still living in trash, because nobody was paying for what we're living. This community was designed to be a very nice community.
There's $130,000 in the general fund. What do you do with that?
Well, keep in mind, it's
Operating costs for.
it's operating money, so it's all portioned out for future expense. It's sitting there, but it's for the items that are budgeted to be paid
For the year.
for the year. Yeah.
For next year.
It's not sitting there to spend. It's there for next year. Yeah.
I hear these people, read these people. I want to see this, I want to see, where's the money going, where's the money going? If you want to know exactly where every dollar's going, get on the board. And, or get up off your butt and read where it's going. These people have been working, put every dollar where it needs to go. To pay for us, to keep us solid. As much as they can do. We got back taxes they're paying, we got current taxes we're paying, they say everything is on these people right here. And everybody's giving them a head.
There is an income statement on thinkpillarharbor.com every month to tell you where every single dollar went.
And if they want, oh, if the increase, where's this money going? It's none of your damn business as a rule, look at the paperwork. We like that.
Hopefully,
They're
the
responsible.
tax deal's over.
The taxes are all paid. To our knowledge, we finally, I mean, there were years of taxes that went unpaid by previous boards. So,
Every dollar that goes in has to go somewhere, and it's in your paperwork, and it's
Money.
up there of where it's posted. There's nobody in here that can't find that information. But people out there blathering online, they don't care to look, they want you to tell them for the damn post. The money is not there to match. Not you gotta do this on the. Where do you want to go? I need people that voted this down. The way. Even have the money plus. It's back on.
You want to do some business?
Yeah. It's just an idea, yeah.
And based on what you have to pay for, make things solid, make it happen. But if it's not mandatory. Oh. I don't need to get an answer, but I am so fed up with these people. It's absolutely not even done.
The health inspector was a full situation. Now, we're supposed to drain the pool and then paint it and then do network on it. That's will we open next year, or does that have to be done sometime this year?
No, that's
After we close it,
after we close. So.
somewhere between us closing it and us reopening it next year, gotta be done.
So my suggestion is because if you bring a pool and then don't have the funds to fix the pool, then it's going to
Push
ruin the
up.
pool because it's what gets
Yeah.
So I suggest that until you can guarantee you have the funds, that nothing is done with that pool, like it has to stay shut down, it stays shut down. Until the funds are there to actually pay for everything. If we have to raise $40,000 to get it done or whatever, then we have to raise $40,000 that stays shut down. And all these people that aren't paying their dues, they can have yard sales and help pay for the $40,000 to start getting things back.
Ma'am, I hate to say it, but if they're not paying anything, yeah, they're not gonna get it. I agree. It is old debt. Those that, of us that are in good standing feel like we have to carry the burden for everybody else. I agree that it sucks big time. But at the same time, I, as a property owner, would like the pool to stay because it does increase my property value. If I want to resell, if I want to refinance my home, I would like that property value to be there,
You have to look at it too. Yeah, that's old debt, but if that old debt never became old debt, those improvements or upkeep and all that stuff would have been done
Right.
as you go along. If that, whatever that past dues amount is, what never became old debt.
But I'm really saying that y'all better not drain that pool. Tell that money, you better that money's there. If it's gonna cost $20,000 or $30,000 to redo that pool. And that's what volunteers do, and so by the time it's built, and by the time you do all the repairs. And you do all this
That's a lot of money.
But that's not draining that pool. Just leave it covered up. For as long as it takes, and just leave it shut down.
Well, and also I do want to mention that I had somebody come to me and ask, how can I help with the pool? How do I get money to go towards the pool? Because we enjoy the pool for our kids, we want it available. You can give a donation at any time to Susan and say, this is just for the pool. And that did happen. And it has happened this year. You do not, I mean, if you don't want to help with anything else, that's fine. But if you want the pool and you want it to stay open, want to give a donation to help, start a fund.
There will be documentation to show that money went for the pool too. It's
So
not-
it's not
There's nothing,
for everything.
nothing on the finances on this board that you can't go look up and find out where that money went. It's all posted to the public.
Okay.
100% transparent.
Right. Hey, quickly, I want to close the item before we get any further. The tax issue, our lawyer did advise us, definite no on grandfathering. He said that would, that would get us into so much legal trouble and legal lawsuits. And he told definitely not. So that's gonna be off the table. Okay, but on the table still is the question, how we gonna handle the future, but we have to word it very carefully. It's gotta pass a legal muster. And we don't have to wait another year to have a vote on that item. Once we get things legal, legally straight, we can bring up a special vote anywhere at any time of the year. Yeah, sure.
We've already voted
Right.
for it to happen. If legal fees come in and he changes it to whatever he needs to make it happen, why do we need to vote again? And make it happen the way the lawyer wants worded versus what we said before.
But we only voted to put it on the ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
got that first, and that's a special ballot with his words, and we do it, we don't have to vote again on his words, they've already said what we want.
Right.
And he's going to make it happen in his league.
So you're saying.
And we don't need to come out with more, vote again.
I mean, we would put it out there more so that people were prepared to do that vote.
We were, I'm saying, it's a special ballot. We
Right.
don't need a form to read.
Correct, correct,
Yeah, yeah.
correct.
We gotta get the legal stuff straightened out. And what, we had to keep an eye, because if there's any lawsuits, they're gonna sue the people that made the vote, made the decision, and that's gonna be you guys, you know?
That's the
You
community.
know, yeah, I mean, imagine someone trying to sue every member, any landowner member in the neighborhood. We don't want that, guys, so. We don't want to put you any kind of liability on you guys. I mean, I know some of you guys really want it hard, but we gotta look out for the best interest of the whole community too, you know? Yeah.
I just have a question on the floor, I want to hear. Is the health department is requiring painting and it's around where the 40,000?
That is to resurface the whole pool.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
not what we have to do.
We don't have to have it resurfaced. Her words were, we need the pool drained, repainted, the cement work around the edges, filled in, smooth again. Fill the pool back up, put chemicals in it, we're good to go.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, well, there's a lot of rough spots on the bottom, and kids constantly get their feet bleeding, they hit a rough spot. You know, there's some rough spots need to worked out when we drain the water.
Those can be sanded down and worked with.
Yeah,
Something, and most of the work that needs to be done, we have people in the community that have said they would love to help with that, you know, whenever the time comes. To be able to dive in there and start painting and fixing the cement and stuff, but there is still the material that we've got to cover, so.
yeah, and instead of patching those bulldozers, bull noses, the kind of on the very edge of the pool that you see cracked and all, rather than try to patch those things up, they come in short lengths. It's better to cut that whole section out and drop in a new piece that's gonna last a while instead of patching it every year. So, you know, there's things need fixing there. So. Okay, we got any new items? Anybody got anything else they want to bring up? Any items? We know we got some challenges ahead of us with this, with no vote. It was your guys' decision, overall, the community's decision. It's gonna leave us in a little bit of lurch, getting things done around here, but, that's the cost of, doing business, I guess. So,
Yeah, I would just like to say, I appreciate your passion.
Absolutely.
I mean, you care about this community and a lot of, all of us do, and you just wish you could unzip somebody's head and pour in that knowledge, then understand, but I do appreciate your
Yeah.
passion, even though I appreciate your passion, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
oh, yeah, quick question.
Yeah.
You only allowed to do that once a year.
Special elections, you can have a special election.
Special election
The
is-
members call special elections.
You have to have enough of the community to come together as a quorum to vote that yes, we want a special election on it.
I'm guessing we don't have one in there.
No.
Not right this minute, we don't.
You have to warn people next time of the next week.
We can put it on the agenda, we're gonna talk about this, and we need you at the meeting to vote. That's what we try to do, and,
2/3.
yeah, two-thirds or
50%.
60, there's an odd number, but yeah.
Like 8 or 9 votes for it. 8 or 9 votes, but you don't need 400.
No.
Yeah.
There's a quorum, yes.
To the vote.
So, you know, if they call for a meeting,
That's not on there, so you have to have a meeting.
Just get it on the ballot.
right, but it's like 8 or 9, somewhere in there,
And then,
votes that are valid.
once it gets to vote, it's just simple majority.
Like,
It's.
Oh, you gotta have it 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3. Yeah, you don't need the super majority, that's 75%, you need 56%. It's in the bylaw. Okay, this quick talk is, we were bringing this up earlier, so it really doesn't require you guys interaction or anything like that, but, we've been talking, would you like, anybody like to bring it up instead?
Pretty much.
He wanted to talk about,
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
So we noticed especially with this last vote, there was a ton of misinformation going around on social media. People not understanding what the vote actually was, where the money was gonna go, should we have to account for the money? I mean, just a ton of misinformation. So we've talked amongst ourselves, and we've talked about it before and not gone through with it with different board members, but we're thinking a Lake Killer Harbor official page where we can post information, the facts, and every member can go there and see the facts, but not necessarily comment on, because we don't have time to weed through, this
It's not
person.
gonna be an argumentation, it's not gonna be an argument.
Here,
well,
this guy's gonna help me out back there.
yeah,
We don't have time to weed through all the garbage that isn't true, so. If we create this page and put everybody on it and, put facts out about, like this vote here. A vote in the future about, changing, raising the dues or the pool or, whatever. But actually have the facts out there that people know it came from the board and it's not, how many times can you tell a story to somebody and then by the time it comes back around to you, it's changed 5 times? Eliminate that, so everybody that's voting on something is actually dealing with facts.
That's why we came up with today, just so we could hear actual anything.
Right. And like I
And
said,
we indicated whatever the work that you're gonna put into that. They're gonna override on those other little pages, talking amongst themselves, their stupidity and their lies, and their ignorance.
That's so right, but if people want the truth, they can go to the
Yeah.
official page, and we're gonna keep valid information on there.
They can't go to the official page, it's just questions, and get it done.
well,
They're going to say, they're not talking back, and they're gonna go back over this idiot. Well, that's because they're lying to you, and this.
right, I guess,
You make it a lot now where you're only on post, they can't argue with you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, so I guess I should reword it this way, so you can set up a Facebook page, a group page, where you can,
I still want you to
basically,
do something to-
right, and you're exactly right, but you can set up those pages where you can have to approve any comment that goes on there from like an admin or a moderator. That way we can control it right now.
Over the one that thinks they mentioned that, they think jumping on this whole time, they got all of those canceled this. They wanted to say this, they canceled this, they got this is why the board is doing this. And they make you have to be demons to hell because you won't let them.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you can work.
We already are. We already are now.
It'll make it even more. It's hard for them to tell these idiots how hard they're working and they're going.
And see, maybe the thing we could do is like take in the question,
yeah, okay.
like directly to the board, answer the question and then post it. But I mean, at some point you have to control the comments because, I mean, people are gonna take it and run with it. You're never gonna make everybody happy.
We need to be here, we need to tell them, no shit. You wanna answer, get your butts in here and ask them point blank. This social media bullshit, or this.
Yeah.
These
Yeah, you're right.
keyboard warriors are destroying this part.
Yeah.
And they don't attend these meetings, by the way. They seem to know everything, but they never attend these meetings, and then they spew out false information. Right.
And the rest of us will be here to back you up.
Yeah.
But if they're only people with warrior thing, and they can make you guys look like Satan something.
Yeah, that's.
And they do, and the rest of them gotta come back and go, you are an idiot, and this is why. And they're idiots, they're all idiots. I'm just saying, they just don't understand what it takes to run a community. And you guys do, and you guys are busting your chops, and I appreciate what you've done and what you're doing. But I just don't have enough throat punch these idiots there. Oh, yeah. Destroying us by saying you're not doing this, and I wanna know where every dollar's going. If you wanna know where every dollar's going, you should put on the board and take over the goddamn position. Sorry. And make it, fair, you know what I mean?
Well,
Everything you do to make it easier for them, it's gonna make it easier for them to come back on you. Continue with what you're doing, because you're doing a very, very good job, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Yeah, thank you.
Leave it to us to kick their asses out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
just
yeah.
saying, don't give them another avenue to point arrows at you. Don't. You post the information.
Yeah,
you-
go ahead.
It's a platform to put information out, doesn't necessarily have to be around comments. Yes, they are gonna go over to the other, but if this is my simplified thinking here, I don't know if simplified is the word, but if we go out there and say, this is the situation, or this is the rule, or this is the information about this issue, then it is what it is. We don't need a banter of discussion.
No, there-
You don't have to have a comment. If it is what it is, we don't need a banter of discussion. I think we have the total right to put truth out there without the mess. Yes, they're still gonna go over to the other ones, but if we're putting out truth, it doesn't need comments back.
Okay, we wanna start winding down here. So, do we have any more comments before we conclude this meeting?
Thank you.
Yeah, quick, it'll be the last question.
Yeah, I'm old and I'm dead. How about if you do it one person at a time and you want to talk about it?
Well,
Yeah.
we did that. We had.
Yeah, we
that
do.
really need to do
I do
that.
have a microphone and we used to pass it around, but then you got people still jumping in, even though they didn't have Mr. Microphone in their hand. We did try that. And people, we asked them to don't get the microphone, whoever gets the microphone gets to talk. And they keep going on anyway. Yeah, you're right, it is a problem.
Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
try to go back to that. We've actually had a discussion on that.
Okay, so if that's it, I'd like to, do we have any possible meeting in the future scheduled? To say generally, now, the only required, public meeting that is on the books is this meeting. This is the annual meeting. This is the required one. All others, public meetings are considered optional. So just let people know, but
Okay,
So-
so a BOD meeting in August. And do we want to do we want to schedule a POA or like a pending POA meeting at this point, or what do we want to do about
we want to knock one out before people leave for the summertime,
it?
just before Labor Day, maybe, when people are in the community.
Recommendation.
Yes.
Eliminate Meeting. 7 o'clock, people just think, if you make it in the middle of the afternoon. People will be on.
But it has more people here than I honestly expected.
6 o'clock, yeah, meeting, not a good time on the weekend, but it's late over there, that I need to be.
What was today?
Yeah.
Just saying.
So looks like August 19th or August 26th.
Okay, so we're gonna try to schedule something maybe
Let's vote on it.
around the third week or so of August. We'll let people know and the announcements. We're gonna try to have something there, so. But then this is for the public meeting for the members. So the board meetings, we're required to have a monthly meeting between the board members, but the public, this is your meeting, so. Okay, we got a motion to end this meeting here. Yeah, second, all in favor, aye. Okay, meeting is ended. Thank you for attending, folks. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Yes, sir. You have done a great job. And to know.